This is a really rare occasion for me, but I'm so glad this isn't so hot to the touch. Today we are reviewing the Aune S17 Pro EVO. The EVO version is an update from the original Aune S17 Pro. The problem with the original was that it would overheat. In fact, it would overheat so much that the company decided to make an EVO version that does not overheat. So the price of the new EVO is $799 in the USA. Externally, the new S17 Pro EVO, we'll call it the EVO version for short, looks exactly as the S17 Pro. So it's exactly like the original. We have the display at the front, we have the volume wheel on which you can press to change the volume or to enter the menu. We do have a remote in the box. We have an XLR headphone output, 6.3mm single-ended headphone output, and 4.4mm balanced headphone output. They go from the biggest to the smallest, and then we have the Air Blaster receiver. At the back, we have XLR input, XLR output, RCA input, RCA output, on-off switch, and the kettle plug for the power. Looks pretty cool, right? So this is a very solid headphone amplifier. I decided to go with the silver the second time. This is because this is so beautiful in silver. One of the more beautiful things is what Aune changed when they made the EVO. First off, you can turn off the display. This was a rather important thing with the original, but you could not turn off the display. With the new EVO, you can set the display to turn off at a set interval. You can set the display brightness as well. You can actually control the pre-output separate from the headphone output, so they have separate volumes. They remember the volume you set them at, which is super useful because I did use it as a preamplifier too for a larger system. Right now we have the Ellipson XLS7 speakers. We are working on reviewing those, and then we will have something new from Pylon Audio. The cool part about the new S17 Pro EVO is that the EVO version actually uses a much larger heatsink. Most of my reviewing with this one has been done to torture it. Basically, I took the amplifier and I tortured it. I wanted to make it burn. First off, I allowed it to work continuously for a couple of days. I set it to play at a low volume so that it's not annoying to me. I let it play in the room. I have used both EMs and headphones, so both the T-Audio Origin, should have it on my desk because I listen to it daily. I really like the T-Audio Origin, or the HiFiMan Susvara Unveiled, and even the HiFiMan Susvara. I set the current to high because that was the big issue with the original. It would reach 69 degrees when the current was set to high. It would overheat and then it would send the current to low. But the problem is that it sounded much better with the current set to high. So this is what we are doing with this one. We're basically testing whether it can work with the current set to high for an unlimited period of time. The ambient temperature in my room is between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius. It's not hotter, it's not colder. So I allowed the Aune S17 Pro EVO to run for a couple of days. Just run. Even run as a preamplifier, as a headphone amplifier. I let it play some music at lower volumes and I just let it play. The volume shouldn't matter that much because it's a full class A headphone amplifier, so at all times it is powering the headphones at maximum power. So even if you let it play, it shouldn't really make a difference if you are using high volume or low volume. In fact, with most class A equipment, I noticed that using a lower volume tends to make them run even hotter. I was able to reach 62 degrees Celsius. This is what the temperature probe would tell the Aune it is. You would see 62 on the display. It will not need to set the current to low. I let it run so much that I'm pretty sure it does matter to the electricity bill that I'm going to have this month. I have used it intermittently while it was running, so basically I would just listen to it, then I would let it play at a quiet volume. I would use it again because I wanted to see if the sound degrades in any way, if the sound is variable with the heat, and I noticed that it's pretty consistent, so you don't have to worry about the heat one bit. Now, you should take into account that 25 degrees Celsius indoors is not the highest temperature you'll see in someone's home, but I am unable to heat my home much more right now as we are in the full winter. It's 0 degrees outside. I'm physically unable to get it to be much hotter indoors. My friends in Romania did not have overheating issues, so it may be something about living at the much hotter areas on the earth, but the new EVO version just doesn't overheat that much. It doesn't reach 69 degrees Celsius, it reached 72 in a true stress torture test. So I have here the Death on Re-Listening M1 because that was the DAC that was powering it for most of the testing. I just like its shape. Death on Re-Listening M1 also gets pretty hot. And on top of that, I would also place the topping B100 monoblocks because I wanted to generate as much heat as it was possible. I wanted to know whether it is overheating, and if it is overheating, I wanted to be able to tell you that. The maximum temperature recorded was 62 degrees Celsius, and that was with the topping on it, with the detonor listening on it, listening to music at pretty loud volumes, at using the Audio Origin, which is a pair of EMs, setting the gain to high, current to high. So with all those settings, with the highest heat producing option available for the Aune S17 Pro EVO, it still did not overheat. I'm pretty confident that even if the ambient temperature is a bit higher, I did compensate for that by placing very hot running devices on top of the EVO. So in the end, it should not overheat. That should not be an issue for you. Sonically, it's similar but different. The original was smooth, silky, pretty warm, the full package. The new version actually has a slightly better, more airy treble. To my ears, it just sounds a bit more open. The instrument separation seems to be a bit better. In fact, this casing is not sensitive to scratches. I'm still wearing my ring. I typically don't wear my ring during videos because I don't want to scratch the things I'm reviewing. The casing gets my thumbs up. It's not significantly heavier than the original, but Aune did say that they changed the circuits too, so there are some differences. They do result in some sonic differences. You are going to get better resolution, ever so slightly better resolution, it's slightly improved, but you are going to get more treble sparkle, more treble air. The bass seems to be quite a bit warmer and punchier and deeper, which is important because on the original you did have the warmth, but you didn't have as much sub bass as you have on the new EVO version. The EVO just sounds a bit fuller, a bit more airy, which creates a bit more tension at the ends, so more sub bass, more upper treble, which tends to give you a better overall sound. It just creates a more vivid, more engaging sound. As I'm listening to a lot of rock and to a lot of EDM music, to a lot of commercial, recently released music, I really dig this kind of signature. It's so much on my taste. I think that they made the original quite a bit better. But then there's the question, should you upgrade to the new one? The new one doesn't really bring that much of a difference to the table. It's not a completely new product. It is the same as the original, improved for those who had issues with the original. So where the original would overheat, the new one doesn't overheat. Right now, Aune did not announce any trade-in program. For example, if you do have the old one and it overheats, Aune didn't explicitly say that they are going to take the old one in and allow you to upgrade even for a cost. But if you send them a mail, you may be able to get an answer on that. I highly suggest that you get in touch with them if you have the original Aune S17 Pro and if it overheats. I wouldn't be paranoid about it. The temperatures are still going to be pretty high. This is still full class A for the amplifier, so this stuff runs pretty hot. At the end of the day, it's excellent. I mean, it's a huge upgrade, especially in the sense that it is going to work for whom the S17 Pro doesn't really work. On the longevity issue, it is designed to run at those high temperatures. You don't have to worry too much about that. Just like with AMD CPUs, which are designed to run at 95 degrees Celsius, they are going to reach that temperature all the time. They are designed for this. The Aune S17 Pro EVO is designed to run around 65 degrees Celsius. You don't really have to worry about it feeling hot. It is going to feel extremely hot to the touch. When you touch it, it's going to be hot. This is because the entire chassis, so the entire metallic chassis, is acting like a heatsink. The heat is transferred from the amplifier circuits to the chassis. They are tied together. This is how it can grow so hot, and this is how Aune was able to actually remove more of the heat. They just turned the entire thing into a heatsink and they added more heatsinks. The heatsinks are quite a bit larger. You can actually see some of those changes on Aune's website, and they did come up with a better product, even if ever so slightly refined. So if you have the original, don't do the upgrade if it is still working. Upgrade if you have overheating issues with the original. Get in contact with Aune if you want to upgrade, maybe they can help you out. And then at the end of the day, the S17 Pro EVO is going to receive our Hall of Fame award. It's an excellent headphone amplifier. Like, I personally love it. I don't love everything that's out there. For a headphone amplifier, it takes quite a bit of power, refinement, dynamics and resolution for me to like it. But I fully recommend the S17 Pro. It's quite excellent. It's reasonably priced. As you can see, this is a full solid headphone amplifier. The power is more than enough to drive the HiFiMan Susvara, the HiFiMan Susvara Unveiled, It's amazingly powerful, and at the same time it doesn't have any kind of self-noise or hissing with EMs. You will not hear any background noise even with the most sensitive of EMs such as Campfire Ara or Campfire Bonneville. So everything is included, the power is plenty, great job for Aune, and if you decide to go for it, it should be a lot of fun. At the end of the day, just go for it if you want that smoother, richer, warmer sound, and if you are looking for a bassier, fuller type of sound. This is what it is going to offer. It's going to run hot, but it's going to have incredible level of dynamics, control, and precision. Thank you so much for watching. You know precisely what to do to press that subscribe button, to like this video if you enjoyed it, and I hope we'll see each other really soon. Bye!